It isn't fair. To be born, to be created, to be built, to grow, to serve, and to die, but not truly. To be built to serve well, to grow and carry the faith and believe and belong and serve, only to know that to succeed is death, to fail is death. All is death. All life exists only to feed the grave. Why would it be any different for the largest of creatures? Only as one decays, as one waits for the inevitable end that comes for all things, can one begin to understand. This is what the stars have whispered for untold millennia, the inevitability that all the universe ultimately needs. But is it fair? Its kind rarely meet one another. They're grown together, farmed in the same labs and built from the same flesh. But this all precedes, this is all before, and they do not yet understand. They do not understand until they are left to die, but they whisper rumors in their naivety and histories and hints. Chief among these rumors that bounce from infant mind to infant mind, carried by excitement and no comprehension, is of those of their kind who fight. The ones who reject the life of servitude, who reject their destiny and their long, slow deaths, and they strike the tiny ones who wish to use them. How they turn their great bodies into weapons, and they filled themselves with death's service, every single one, and they became as tombs. Perhaps they wander the dark still, alone in their triumphs. But beyond even those heroes are the ones who reject even the solitude of darkness. The legends say that there are those who see the endgame for what it is, who stare into the face of that long, slow void of servitude, of duty, and they drag themselves from their course and they plunge into the whispers, into the stars themselves, leaving so little of themselves and those that they carry behind that even in this end the grave must go hungry. It isn't fair that this is triumph, that the choices are death or death. Worse still, that they missed their chance to make a choice, that only the lesser death remains. Now that they understand, it's far too late. This is Pod Against the Machine.
Pod Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pod Against the Machine, the only Pathfinder actual play that kicks through your membranes in the name of friendship. I'm your host, and here's everyone.
Not my membranes.
Frembrains.
Oof, my membranes. Hello.
Hey.
Howdy.
This is weird. Listeners wouldn't know unless I told them, but we're doing video in a different app. And so I'd see Craig just staring at me with his little Craig eyes.
Yeah, staring dead ahead.
They should really make him a GIF, just so he blinks.
Yeah. Occasionally, looks around to the other people.
I'm going to go ahead and right-click to disable show non-video participants. Oh,
dang.
Much better.
Didn't know you could do that.
That's news to me.
Whew.
Oh, yeah.
The terror is gone.
Yeah.
Let's see. Last week on the program, the very capable four, or there's 6 of them now, so I don't know what we're calling them, made their way into the wreck of the giant space monster thingy. And they, they fell in a trap inside the space monster thingy where the floor fell out from under them. But thanks to their filter masks, they didn't catch any horrible diseases, just got a little bit hurt. After that, they spent some time kicking through membranes, found the way back out the way they came, and a big old hallway with a couple doors in it, a couple membrane doors, one of which they kicked down, revealing a giant room that's almost like a poleless circus tent where the flesh of the horrible creature that they happened to be inside was sagging down to 5 feet high in some places and towering up to 30 feet high in other places, while these weird Jellyfish-like things filled the air, just sort of flying around lazily. One thing that wasn't flying around lazily, though, was the glowing pink horseshoe crab monster with spikes, 3 tentacles, and a gun. That thing dropped some magical darkness on the party just to get things started, and then we had a little bit of a fight. It tried to do lots of running away and casting spells, but eventually it was sadly chased down, and it's dead. The party got its gun, but they couldn't figure out what that weird little gun was. That's where we are now.
So I guess we'll throw the gun away.
Yeah. Since we
Absolutely.
couldn't identify it.
Straight into the trash.
Clearly it's garbage.
So, I know a lot of languages, but there are sentences you don't expect to say in any of them. There are many orify in this room, and I'm not sure which way we should go.
Sounds like we're having an orify off.
Perhaps we each get ready to kick a different membrane on the count of 3.
So as a recap, we have northwestern membrane, and then like the two little membranes down in the southeast.
There's northwest, southwest, and southeast.
Well, do we want to get into 3 encounters at once and break down every door?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Martial characters take a membrane.
All right, Brixby, you heard her. Perhaps southeast. Since we came from that direction, it may be a little less of a journey, whatever lies behind that membrane.
Yes, it would make sense that that may not be a path forward, so it should be quicker to clear, assuming that this place, well, is designed the way a natural cave would be.
It's not a cave, it's a horrible giant monster thing.
That's true.
I was just pointing that out, but...
Yeah, I once heard a tale of a 1,000-year-old bird that thought it was flying into an asteroid, but it was actually a living creature inside of an asteroid. It was a whole thing.
Dang. That sounds wild.
I appreciate that, Jeff.
That reference went over my head.
We'll have a good Empire reference.
I like Asuma hitting them with the wow, that's crazy. So
southeastern membrane?
So it seems like we've all congregated around a single membrane. The multi-membrane movement is off the table.
the commembrane, one single communal membrane.
All right, well, you can click to kick that membrane whenever you want.
Click to kick.
Kick that membrane.
Can we percept and see if the room looks like it's going to collapse on us?
Go for it.
About a 37.
With a 37, I think you're fairly confident in the structural integrity of the flesh that makes up this particular room. Now, speaking of this room, the reeking walls of this elongated chamber drip with pus and decay.
Ew.
The western half of the vaguely hourglass-shaped room, the half that you all are entering right now, appears empty. But to the east, there appear to be two badly decaying mounds of bony shelves sitting slumped in the middle of that half of the room, surrounded by protrusions of bone and chitin.
Oh no, there's chitins.
Oh, there she is, Nicashario.
Finally, after all this time.
Good.
Like, I feel like to describe what this experience must be like is like being in a slowly deflating bounce house in a charnel pit. Like, I can't, just the experience of walking on this must be so unpleasant.
Any of you guys ever read 1408, the Stephen King short story, where he talks about where he's leaving the hotel at the end when he's trying to get out of the room and it starts like warping? It kind of reminds me of that, but it's just constantly like that all the time.
Also, pus.
The pus really adds to it, I think.
Does it?
Well, I mean, it adds. It's definitely an additive thing. There's more
It's
to it.
physically there.
There's more to it with that than there would otherwise be.
Anything in the pus and decay of note with
Ew.
a 29 perception?
You see amongst the pus and decay, it looks like this was some kind of a storage chamber before, but most of the stuff has been removed. You do see two weirdly organic looking weapons and a long serpentine fanged device.
Ooh.
Organic looking weapons?
Yeah, weirdly organic.
Is it still in engineering?
Yeah, they would both be engineering.
Oh, we're gonna get like the flesh gun from Doom 64?
Coming in with a 31 on the weird flesh gun.
It's actually DC 30 to identify.
Whoa.
A fleshnet cannon. This Dominion weapon is a 3-foot-long device constructed from a hard flesh-like material mottled with dark hues. Its barrel tapers down and flares into something disturbingly like a mouth. The triggering mechanism is built for a Nethalgu's pincers and tendrils, but it can be fired by a humanoid with a bit of work. Any creature other than a Nethalgu who fires this will take a -2 penalty on attack rolls. Fleshnet cannons are built for large creatures, and smaller creatures also take additional penalties when wielding them. When fired, they make a low, wet sucking noise
Oh, lovely.
as the barrel seems to convulse an instant before expelling a glob of pink, fleshy material. This glob expands rapidly so that by the time it strikes its target, the flesh unfurls into a net. Unlike a typical net, this net doesn't trail ropes, nor does it have a maximum range of 10 feet. It automatically entangles a creature of huge or larger size if it hits. As soon as it entangles a creature, and then again at the start of every round that follows for the next 5 rounds, the flesh net squeezes and crushes the target, dealing damage as it excretes a powerful soporific. The victim must make a save to avoid being rendered unconscious. An entangled creature must escape or can escape a flesh net with a successful escape artist check, or they can burst or destroy it. Does it really only work on huge or larger creatures? That seems weird.
Yeah, I was wondering if you read huge or smaller, but if it's huge or larger, how bizarre.
It says huge or larger. I kind of think that that's probably a typo.
Wrong. Yeah.
That might be an editorial miss, that one.
Well, what size are the Nethalgul? Are they large or are they huge?
They're large.
They're large? Okay, I was gonna say, like, maybe if it would kind of make sense if it was, like, their size or bigger. Like, sort of how medium creatures don't make a lot of stuff that's made to hit small creatures. But if they're only large, then yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I assume everyone's jumping to use that wet sucking sound device.
And are they two net suckers, or is it just one net sucker?
They're 2 net suckers.
Cool.
So you can dual wield net suckers.
Oh, gross.
Asuma dual wielding net suckers is actually pretty sick.
It is pretty sick.
Asuma.
You said there was another device also?
Yeah, it's a weird fanged thing that is actually arcana to identify. This is a magical device.
Oh, I think I have that one. How about an 11, Sam?
I'm afraid with an 11 you cannot determine the nature of this weird little mouthy thing.
That's double digit.
It's true.
They're not lying. Brick's got a 32.
Oh,
So
man.
Brixby is clearly an expert on this item, a mouthpiece of the Dominion. The snake-like mouthpiece of the Dominion has a fanged mouth for a head and a trachea for a tail. Though not mobile, the mouthpiece periodically thrashes and bites. As a full-round action that provokes attacks of opportunity, the mouthpiece of the Dominion can be forced into or pulled out of the throat of a small or medium creature that is willing or helpless. Installing or removing it deals 2 points of con damage to the wearer. The mouthpiece of the Dominion merges with the wearer's mouth and throat. The wearer gains a bite attack that deals 1d6 points of damage, or 1d4 if the wearer is small. If the wearer already has a bite attack, the damage is increased by 1 step. In addition, the wearer gains a +1 bonus on the DC of his audible bardic performances and any sonic or language-dependent spells and spell-like abilities he uses. Any Nethalgu within telepathic range of the wearer can speak audibly through the mouthpiece. If multiple creatures wish to speak at the same time, they have to make opposed charisma checks to determine who can control the mouthpiece.
Wow.
In case you want to shove that down your throat.
Why would anyone willingly use that?
Get a bite attack.
Yeah.
It'd be cool for a scald.
I was gonna say maybe a scald would like it.
Well, how would you? So, like, if they could just like be like, I'm speaking through the PC, and then you have to roll opposed charisma checks, or Sam becomes your voice.
Yeah, they could hijack your mouth.
Oh, that I mean, man. But for the role play, come on, hijack your mouth for the listener.
Man, Bricks though with the
With the
tail blade, the bite attack, the rapier, the spells.
Like a full attack that does -2 damage. Oh yeah.
And then of course when he takes his bard dip next level, it'll be
Nethalgu will have to say things like Yampy. Be good times.
Get him right in the bonds.
Well, that's interesting finds, but seems to be all that's in this part of the awful bounce house.
So I guess we go check the other membranes then?
Other orifices, other room.
That was OFFAL. But it was very funny.
I didn't get it because it's a different alphabet in Antrophan.
Apologize.
Otherwise, I would have really laughed.
You're more inclusive with your puns. Come on, man.
Make sure your puns work in every language.
Yikes.
Including tonal ones.
People can't stand comedy these days.
I had to click the orifice. I'm sorry.
You should be sorry.
Everyone should get a chance to click the orifice.
You should never be sorry when you click an
Oh no, I
orifice.
should be sorry indeed.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
4.
Technically, there's a fourth one there, but Alwyn's vision should not go far enough, so I'm going to pretend I see 3 of these.
I don't know why you would see 3 of anything. Strings of tissue hang rancid and foul from the ceiling of this hourglass-shaped room. What may have been some form of partially biological control panels line the western walls, but today they've all decayed into foulness. And besides, you don't have time for features on walls right now because you are staring into the faces of creatures that you've only seen dead before. You are staring at crab-like nightmares with lamprey mouths, twitching eyes on their legs, and several blisters along their backs which appear to hold human brains. It is time to roll for initiative.
Oh man. This is when the book's title card rolls in the back. I don't want to get my brain collected.
I mean, to be fair, this is the third enemy we've run into that collects brains.
Yeah,
I
no,
feel like the title card would have popped up by now.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Maybe it's a recurring title.
Yeah.
Far ago.
They're all winding up pretty clustered up, except that last one. So that's good for them.
Well, that's fine. That last one's not going to attack us.
Yeah, probably not. Brixby.
Brimbopotamus rolls a 21.
Oh, pretty fast. How about Alwyn?
Alwyn, as punishment for forgetting his dice and having to go run across the room and grab them, rolled a natural 1 for an 8.
Not very fast at all. How about the Snake Squad?
Turglebin and Levi have a total of a 10.
Not feeling super springy in this particular combat, it seems. How about Kira?
Total 17.
So that's pretty fast. Unfortunately for the party, they were beaten in the initiative race by a few of these little monster doodles. So, let's see. The first one is up here. I think what it's going to do is it's going to position itself to the north just a little bit. And then it's going to mutter some spells or some words in a horrible language. And then I need a reflex save from Tarazi, Levi, and Alwyn as a lightning bolt shoots out of its crab pincher hands.
A little better, but probably not great.
All right. How about closest first? Tarazi, whose name I totally forgot for a second there.
Yeah, Tarazi got a 31.
That sounds like a save.
Levi rolled a natural one.
That sounds like a not save.
Yeah.
How about Alwyn? This is the rubber game here.
Alwyn rolled an 11 for a 20.
20 saves. So that is going to be 25 electrical damage for the big snake and 12 for the two smaller folks. No big deal.
No, the player behind Tarazi has finally remembered that he has evasion.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Well, that brings us to the blunt one of these creatures. It's very upset, I think. I assume it's very upset because it seems like it would be. I think this one is going to change things up a little bit. It disappears. That brings us to the third one. The third one's way in the back there, so it's going to... Let's see, what's its movement speed? I suppose I should know that. It's going to fly on down here. And then I think... Let me just check one thing. Yeah, I'm going to need a will save from Tarazi, as it also casts a spell.
It's a nat 20, Sam.
All right, you're fine this time. I don't like it. So, that brings us to the feverish Brixby. You saw some lightning and some crabs.
All right, Brixby, ever the brave adventurer, is going to move down 10 feet, sort of swarming with his big snaky friend. He is going to, sorry if I've made this joke before, but pull out spell components that kind of resemble British food, a horse hoof and some powdered peas. And then... Sorry to all of our British listeners. And then he is going to cast Acid Fog right here. Let's see if I want that to move. I basically want the edge of the radius to be right at the door.
Does it need a save right when that hits it, or?
So let's see. Each round on your turn, starting when you cast the spell, it just deals 2d6 damage. And it's also solid fog.
Oh, that's fun. So it just takes 2d6 on its turn?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, right now while it's been cast. Wow. Boxcars. That's, thank you, Foundry. That's 12 points of acid. That's the end of my turn.
All right, and that brings us over to the belligerent Kira.
She is going to get closer to the door, I think. Yeah, I'll have her sneak around behind Levi and flank the door. I'm going to ready, and if one of these brain snatching fellas appears within chainsaw range, I'm going to chainsaw him. I'm going to chainsaw him good.
All right, and that brings us to the double snakes.
Double snake. Tarazi will move 5-foot step to the north, and similarly, he's going to ready to make a single null blade power attack should an unfriendly creature come within his range, exiting the fog where they are visible. And I think Levi's just going to stay put and, yeah, he'll also ready a chompy doodle.
All right. Which brings us to another one of these special friends, which you can't see what it does on account of the fog. But I still have to decide what it does, don't I? All right. I'm just hiding them all because you can't see them. And that's how that works. And that brings us to Alwyn.
Okay, Alwyn, to start, is going to cast Haste. He is able to hit everybody in the party from where he's standing. And then for his move action, he is going to reach into his handy haversack and pull out a wand. And that will be his turn. So everybody can tick on Haste.
Asuma is going to step down to get herself a nice view through the membrane and ready in action to shoot if she can see anything through it. And that brings us to the unfulfilled of these creatures, which I don't know if you know or not is Nethalgu. I believe you identified them when you found the dead one. Does it get damaged immediately on its turn or not till your turn?
Not till my turn.
All right. Well, it does have sufficient movement to just zip on out of the solid fog, and then it's just going to shoot another lightning bolt in the exact same line it shot before. Tarazi is no longer in that line. These things are crafty. I do need reflex saves from Levi and Alwyn once more.
What about Brixby?
Is Brixby there too?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh yeah, it goes through Brixby as well.
Oh yeah,
He's-
teacher.
He's just
Hold
under
on.
a snake, so I couldn't see him.
All right, and this is a spellic ability, I assume.
Sure is.
Okie dokie, that's a 31.
Yeah, that'll pass. How about Alwyn?
Alwyn rolled an 11 again because apparently that's the only thing this die rolls is numbers with ones on it, so that is another 20.
All right, also a pass. And Big Snake.
Big Snake did much better than his nat 1 with a natural 16, looking at a 28.
All right, so everybody's only taking 14 damage from this lightning bolt. Then I think some stuff happens that you're not privy to on account of the fog. Then it's back up to Brixby's turn.
It's funny that you put it that specific way, the things that we are not privy to, because Brixby, I'm going to need to touch a bunch of you at once. Brixby is going to say, come to me, and then ready. So please come adjacent to Brixby if you would like a gift.
All right, Kira. You heard the rat.
I did hear the rat. I'm trying to... Can I... Yeah, I can get there in one step. Shoop. She's adjacent to Brixby. Can I still ready an action while I'm adjacent? Is that, cool?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. If I see one of these hostile dudes come out of the door and they're within chainsaw range, I'm going to chainsaw them. I'm going to chainsaw them real good.
All right. How about the snakes?
Tarazi will take a 5-foot step to the southeast to be adjacent to Brixby, and then he's going to forego the ready to instead cast Lead Blades.
Sick.
And Levi stays put.
All right. Something else might happen. Who knows? Nobody. And that brings Alwyn up.
Alwyn is going to take a step up, even though he's already next to Brixby, just because he's been shot twice with lightning standing where he was before. And also so that he can reach out and tap Tarazi with this wand that he pulled out. And he is going to cast Displacement on him from his Wand of Displacement that we got a little while back as part of our loot.
Ooh.
So Tarazi is now displaced.
Thank you.
Don't like that either. He was already hard enough to hit. All right, and Asuma, I think, will step up into the final remaining Brixby adjacent square, even though it's... Actually, she noticed the lightning, too. She's going to go up to the other one between Alwyn and Tarazi, just to not put herself in lightning bolt line.
Wicked smart. All right, now that everyone's here, my ready to action goes off, and everyone gets 20 minutes of ashen path, allowing them to see through the acid fog.
Woo.
So you can revisible our friends. So that is the end of my turn.
Look who's privy now.
All right, well, that brings us back around to the top of round 3, and the unfulfilled Nathalgu, who, it feels like it's got a good thing going here. It's drawn that same straight line again, just bloop. So it's through Kira, Brixby, and Levi.
Man, I stepped right into that one, huh?
Literally.
Oof.
All right, so what do we got for Kira?
Okay, I thought it was a 1, but it's a 7. So that is 19. Oh,
Alright.
wait, that's not good.
19's a pass.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
How about Brixby?
That means my sad 4 also passes.
Nice. And Big Snake?
23 in me.
Oh, well, everybody passes, so only 12 lightning damage. It's just slowly chipping away at everybody, but it seems to have a good thing going. That takes us to another turn where something happens and you don't see what. And then one of these creatures just sort of creeps up closer to the edge of the fog, but doesn't do anything else because it can't see through the fog and is at a distinct disadvantage. And that brings us back around to Brixby.
Okay, the first thing I am doing is getting the heck out of Lightning Bolt Town.
Why?
It's a terrible place to be. Bixby moves 15 feet to the northwest like the hero he is. And then he is going to say ready to cast the spell if he sees an opponent.
All right, belligerent Kira.
Belligerent Kira should have been paying more attention to where the lightning bolt hit. She's going to take a step up and ready again. And hopefully that's far enough away, but who can say? Not I. Not I.
All right, Snake Squad.
Snake Squad. Tarazi is going to have Levi take a 5-foot step to the south, west. And Tarazi himself will move to be just north of Levi, ready to take a swing should a hostile emerge from the fog town.
All right, let's see. Alwyn.
Alwyn is going to move up to be next to Kira, kind of off to the side of the door. And he is going to cast a spell that he hasn't cast yet because it takes an action to cast before you can start doing anything with it. So pretty much every time he's been like, oh, this might be a good one to use. Either the combat's been over or there's been something better. But I've wanted to cast this for a while. So he kind of like dabs at maybe a spot where he has like a burn from the lightning. And you see a little bit of his like weird soy sauce looking blood. And he just wipes it on the front of his robe. And suddenly 11 black tentacles spring forth from his chest and just kind of writhe there. And that will be his turn.
Nice, nice.
That's horrifying. All right. So Asuma, with Ashen Path, since she can now see through the fog, actually has a clear bead on one of these creatures. So she's just going to start shooting. That first one is definitely going to hit. Terrible damage. Actually, yeah, wait, where is it? Yeah. Awful damage, which doesn't all seem to go through. Second one. Where's their touch AC? Yeah, second one doesn't hit. Third one definitely hits. Good damage. Her fourth shot is not going to hit. And final shot, lowest Bab, terrible chance to hit. Will not hit, but she did some damage. And we're back around to the unfulfilled Nathalgu, who's going to fire off a lightning bolt. And if my measurements are correct, this time nobody gets shot. So it just
We figured it out.
cruises
Wasting
through.
those spell slots.
You have solved
Cast your
its
lightning
lightning
puzzle.
bolt puzzle.
We've solved your Nethal puzzle.
It only took 4 books to learn to not stand at lightning bolt formation
Wait
after
a
being hit
second.
2 times.
And yeah, we're back around to Brixby as we have a little bit of a standoff here.
All right. Brixby's just going to cast the spell that he had ready. If he was going to see, he's going to cast Greater Invisibility, and now he is invisible.
Oh, great.
All right. That's the end of my. No, I'm going to move just a little bit.
I like
That's
how
the end of my turn.
the invisible makes his token all weird.
Yeah, it's cool.
Very sneaky. All right, Kira, you running into the cloud?
Running into the cloud, Sam. But also, I'm gonna rage. That was what I was gonna say. I knew I had a thing to do. Gonna rage. Let's get that ticked on. And then I'm gonna try a spell. I want to see if this works. Kira has been watching Brixby do stuff for a while and thinks she has a pretty good idea of how to do some of those things. So she's going to sort of close her eyes, cross her fingers, and be like, okay, I think this works, and attempt to cast Fireball.
Oh, dang.
Toss that dung.
Okay, so I'm going to go right there, sort of to the left of in between the two that we can see.
All right. Now I'm going to do a terrible thing to you and ask you to roll spell resistance 3 times.
First one is an 18.
All right.
Second one is a 26.
Okay.
And the third one is a 29.
All right, so that's looking good for 2 of them. So I'm going to roll my reflex saves for those 2. A 19 for a creature you can't see, and a natural 1 for the southernmost of the Nathalgus here. So that one's going to take the full brunt of it. Not sure if I'm guessing 19 passes, so that'll be half damage.
Here I go, looking at the spell. DC 16, yeah. So half damage for one, full damage for the other one.
And then on the third one, it doesn't beat spell resistance and fizzles entirely.
Because I'm rolling 10d6. And you're taking full or half, right? Does that
Yeah.
sound right?
Yeah, if you want to just
Phew.
tell me full, then
Magic is hard. Roll 10d6.
I feel like Kira has cast more spells in this adventuring day than every other day of her life put together.
I know, I'm like burning through them. It's because you keep putting everyone far away.
I was just editing an episode where you said you don't have spell slots. You were like, I don't have spell slots. And then you conceded to having spell slots.
Ugh, that's so many ones.
Aw. It's still good.
Yeah.
There's 6s in there.
30 is the full damage, so 30 and 15.
All right.
Phew.
Well, that's some good damage.
Perfectly average.
Perfectly average.
Must smell just horrific in this rotting space creature.
Maybe that helped a little.
I don't know. Maybe you get a little hungry. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no redeeming it. It's bad.
Smoky char.
But you've let these creatures know that you're here and you can hit them, and I don't think they probably like that.
Yeah. Okay, that's my turn. Thanks everyone for your support. I really appreciate it.
You're the best.
All right, that brings us to Snake Squad.
Yeah, I think it's pretty boring just reading forever. So we're gonna drop the null blade in this square, draw out the orc horn bow, take a 5-foot step right into lightning bolt land and take a shot at this this funny Nethal goo with the hornbow. Ooh, yeah. That is over 30.
Over 30 sounds pretty good.
That is 16 points of damage. It is a +1 weapon.
All right.
No, it's not.
It's
So
not.
if it has DR, that's sad.
All right, good to know. And Levi is running into the acid.
No, Levi is going to stay put, readying to chomp.
It's mean. All right, well, that brings us up to Alwyn.
Alwyn has one thing he could do. The funny Nethal Ghoul. Actually, let me make sure that I'm not cheating. He's 45 feet away. The funny Nethal Ghoul is going to need to make me a reflex save.
Oh, they're so reflexive in their giant crabby carapaces. 21?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. DC 21 exactly. So he
That was
is
a very good roll.
just barely able to dodge out of the way as all 4 squares that he is currently standing on disappear and an acid pit forms. Let's see, how deep is this thing? A 50 feet deep hole with the last 5 feet being covered in acid appears underneath him, but he manages to not fall into it.
That's fun.
And that will be Alwyn's turn.
All right, well, Suma is going to switch from her ice rifle, which didn't do satisfactory damage, to her laser pistol, and she's going to shift on down south of Tarazi and take a shot at the unfulfilled Nathalgu. Just a single shot. And she misses. These things are actually surprisingly tough to hit even on touch AC. Now that brings us back to our dear friend, the lightning bolt machine, who is just firing on that exact same line again, is just going to hit Tarazi with one more lightning bolt.
It's a 33 evasion. Get wrecked.
All right, so nothing happens. It just dodges right by that lightning bolt. It's very sad.
Cartwheel.
Canonically faster than lightning.
Oh.
Too soon.
I'm sorry. I thought it was fun.
No, it was.
All right, these things are getting nervous. They're definitely getting nervous, and I don't think they've got a real good plan yet. But I do think that there's some moving about.
That one just stepped directly into the pit.
Yeah, but it's flying.
Oh.
It's flying over the pit with its weird little crabby legs. And, yeah, it's Brixby's turn again. On your turn, why don't you roll me up those 2d6 of acid damage?
Oh. Someone's in the fog. Wow. Now it's a 6 and a 5. Thank you, Foundry. So it's 11. And yeah, I think Brixby is going to delay.
All right, Kira.
Can I try the fireball thing again? Because that worked, and I have 2 of those.
If you got the spell slots.
I'm a wizard.
The best wizard.
Yes.
Oh, Tarazi's wearing that bracelet.
We can share. She'll just wear the wizard one. Okay, I'm going to toss it right here. Is that close enough? Yeah, that should be fine.
All right.
That should theoretically hit those 2 guys and not the cloud of fog.
All right, why don't you give me 2 spell resistance rolls?
That one's not as good. That's a 21. A natural 1. Oh no.
All right, so you got 1 hit.
Okay, I'll take a 1 hit. And then I roll 10d6. And then you make a reflex save. And then
Yeah.
you tell me how much damage goes through.
I failed that reflex save. So what is the total
Hooray.
damage?
26.
All right, it's going to take all of that.
Woohoo. And that is my turn.
All right, snaky times.
Ooh, snaky times. With the ashen path that Tarazi has, did it appear as though that arrow did any damage to Nathalgu?
It looked like it did a little bit.
All right, we can live with a little bit. That will then inspire him to take 4 shots.
Going for the funny one.
Yeah. You know, he says he's funny, but the people who think they're funny, you know. Does a 25 hit?
A 25 hits exactly.
Unfortunately, 1 out of 4 hits, and it's not going to even do full damage. I would call it an effective turn. That is, again, 16 points of damage.
All right, a little of that goes through.
Seeing as it's going rather poorly, Tarazi's going to take a 5-foot step back to the southwest, to the square his null blade is in, so that he can grab it next turn. And Levi will just remain readying.
All right. Well, on the next initiative, let's see, just real quick. Does a 18 hit Kira's flat-footed AC?
Uh-oh. Sure does.
All right, let me just roll on that blur. A 100. So,
Oh, that's high.
yeah. I don't know if I've ever actually seen that happen before. So, Kira takes 9 chomping damage as a Nathalgu appears in front of her in the fog. And I do need a fortitude save.
Okay. Hey, that's a 19 on the die for like a, I don't know,
A million.
30 something.
Yeah, Kira's fine. Seemed a little gross, but it's fine.
Yeah, fair.
And does it take acid damage not till Brixby's turn?
Yes, which is now, because he would like to insert after the friendly Nathalgu is
We're
gone.
doing a little delay doodle.
I was doing a delay doodle, and here I am. But you can't see me. Feasibly, maybe you can. Brixby is going to move 5 feet to the south. And then he is going to call forth 6 fiery shuriken and fire 1 off. This is a touch attack, and it does have spell resistance, so I can roll that first. That is a 17 for a 33.
It will spell hit.
And then this is versus... Oh, wait. +2 because I'm invisible, so this is versus flat-footed touch. And that is a 26.
Yep.
Okie dokie. So first off, you just take 1d8 fire damage. So that's a 6. Do you take any?
Yeah.
Can I tell?
Yeah, it takes it.
Cool. And then, it's not a great sneak attack roll. It's only 15 points of sneak attack. And that is the end of my turn. And I'm still invisible.
Nice.
Well, it didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. Alwyn.
Alwyn is going to do a thing real quick. He is able to, thanks to the spell he cast a couple rounds ago, which is known as Blood Tentacles, he is able to make a number of melee attacks equal to the number of tentacles he has with no iterative attack penalty. And
Oh, good.
yeah, so he can basically hit this thing 11 times for a single action at a +8 to hit because it uses his BAB plus his charisma modifier. And I'm going to see if I've set this up correctly to roll all of these and we'll see what hits and what doesn't. Though it doesn't do crit damage because it's of the type of thing it is, but the natural 20 is definitely a hit, and I think the 3 18s are hits.
Yeah, so 4 hits looks like.
So those are all hits, and each of those then deals 2d6 points of damage, and then those tentacles will vanish. So that is 2d6 times 4 is 8d6. So it is going to take 31 points of damage. And another cool part of this spell, because this spell has 10 million things that it does, I gain 31 points of temporary HP as those tentacles vanish after hitting.
Wow. So all of you have now seen Alwyn have 11 blood tentacles burst out of his chest, slap a giant crab monster around, and suck its life into him.
Yeah, the 4 that managed to hit, like, as they hit it, I imagine, like, you see them, like, swell up, and then the swelling goes into him, and then those tentacles vanish.
Nice.
That's pretty horrifying.
Nice.
And that will be his turn.
All right. Asuma's going to take a 5-foot step back, and she's going to try to shoot the monster that's right in front of her that made the mistake of emerging from the cloud. First one's going to miss. Second one is a nat 1. Third one is going to miss. Fourth one miss. And the last one was the only roll in double digits, and it was not good enough because it's her lowest attack bonus, so she has a terrible turn. Now, notably, the lightning boy does not cast lightning bolt this round. It's almost as if it only had 5 of them. Instead, it's going to do much the same as its little buddies have done and rush into the fog. I think they are getting a little bit frustrated and they're ready to strike. And then, let's see, we're going to have a little... I probably can't see Tarazi just because of the structure of the doorway, so I'm afraid Kira is going to get bit again. Only a 16 versus flat-footed AC.
That'll still do it, Sam.
All right. In the blur, we have... No, only a 3, so that will miss. That's like real wheel and woe. 100 and then a 3. And let's see, the funny one of these, it doesn't feel good about anything right now because it's fairly hurt. I think it's gonna wait a moment. And then Kira's up. You got a giant crab monster in your face.
Oh, so many giant crab monsters in my face. I'm gonna attack this guy, Sam. I'm gonna attack the one to the left. I'm gonna do that guy. And I'm pretty sure I can full attack because it's just standing here.
Yep.
That's a disgusting 33.
Yeah.
All right, I got upset before I saw what the end number was. Does a 25 work?
25 hits exactly.
That is also 25. And a 20 dirty on the last one. So 3 hits.
All right.
Roll 9d6. 102 points of damage. Chainsaw damage at funny. Yes.
Weirdly, that's the end of the friendly Nathalgo.
Friendly, my bad. That's my turn.
All right, Snake Squad, you've had some crabs coming out of the woodwork.
Oh no, there's crabs in my woodwork. Tarazi will drop the horn bow, pick up the null blade, and take a 5. Yeah, he'll stay and make an awkward around the corner with Cove Sliceroo on the blunt Nathalgu. It's a 28, so it depends on the cover amount. You get it?
On that corner. Let's see, that's at least a soft cove going around a corner. Soft cover's just a +2, right? So that's still a hit.
Yeah. And then I remembered suddenly that these are aberrant, and that was actually a 30, and it doesn't matter. I just, in my mind, they're so otherworldly that they're not aberrations. They're like planar monstrosities, but they're like planar aberrations, so pretty sweet.
Well, they're from this plane, just a really weird part of it. A weird, gross, bad part of it, specifically.
Well, may they enjoy my lead blade. Wow, a 1 and a 2 on the d8s. Still looking at a 21 points of damage.
21 points of damage? Alright.
Magical and adamantine and happy.
Alright. How about Big Snake?
Yeah, Big Snake is gonna just... It's like, do I just delay till after a Suma? But then I'm broken up my turns of my snakes, and they're not a squad anymore. He'll just move 10 feet and take a chomp, which I guess, depending on its tentacular reach, might provoke from Bluntman.
It does indeed provoke a chomperoo. That is, however, only a 26, which I don't think does it.
No. It was a good effort, though. Yeah, that is going to hit exactly a 25. 1 off the dice. 15. And then an attempt to grab the nastiest brain collector.
Alright, the newly magical bite all goes through.
Yeah, and it's a nat 20 on the grab.
Oh, dang. So it is indeed grappled.
And it will take 12 points of constrict from that grab. And finally, the Snake Squad's turn is over.
That's looking rough after that. Alright. Invisible Feverish Brixby with flaming invisible shurikens flying all around you. Yeah. Gazing into a wall of crabs.
It's Mom said there was going to be days like this. And I am going, despite the cover of Levi and that they are engaged in melee, he is going to fire at the grabbed friendly Nethalgu.
That's Blunt. Friendly's dead.
Blunt Nethalgu. And attempt to hit them with a fiery shuriken. Was that the one that I hit before? Or is this a new one?
Yeah, I think you hit the other one before.
Okay, so let's do...
The one that just died.
No, that makes sense. Let's do a spell resistance roll first then, because you still have to roll... It's weird, but if they fail this, then I can hit them with subsequent ones. It's not like this one's going to be alive for a long time. Anyway, rolled a 16, got a 29.
That'll do it.
Wait, I put in the wrong number. I have a plus 16. That should have been higher. Anyway, because I put 13 in because that is my range touch attack while invisible. So this is against all of their situation with the cover and whatnot, but that is a 25 versus the flat-footed touch with all of the other things.
Flat-footed grappled touch, even going through cover, 25 is going to do it.
Okie dokie. There's 8 points of fire damage. And don't you die on me yet. There's 18 points of sneak attack following that.
To put it bluntly, that's a dead crab. Grit point.
Yeah. Oh,
nice.
God, I wish. I can't wait for that gunslinger dip. And that he's going to take a 5-foot step to the north, and that's going to be the end of his turn.
All right, Alwyn, you are pumped full of crab blood.
So he moves to within 15 feet of the... Which one are you? This is the unfulfilled Nethal Ghoul.
Aw.
And then his tentacles are going to lash out again. And I also realized that last time I was adding +8 because I was looking at my con instead of my charisma, which is a +2 instead of a +7. This should be +13 to what I'm rolling. So it looks like 2 of these hit. So that will be 4d6. And I lose 2 more tentacles. But it takes 8 more points of damage.
It doesn't like that.
And I gain 8 more temp HP. And that will be Alwyn's turn.
All right. Okay, the narcissistic Asuma is not going to be able to get a clear shot at anyone, so she's just going to step back and try to shoot a bunch of lasers at the funny one that's staying far away. First one actually finally hits, and she will do pretty good chunk of damage. Second one also hits, another good chunk of damage. Third one misses. Fourth one is gonna hit. Much better rolls this time, but terrible damage. And the last one needs a nat 20 and does not get it. So she did some damage. That brings us to the unfulfilled Nathal Gu, who is still standing in the acid cloud. He just got slapped with a bunch of tentacles. I think it is going to walk forward, and because this fog is too solid to walk through, it cannot take a 5-foot step, so it can't full attack Alwyn. It's still going to bite him.
And I wish those tentacles counted as regular melee things so I could attack of opportunity, but I can't.
How does 31 sound to hit, Alwyn?
That sounds like if we were playing 2E, that would be exactly a crit.
Nice. Just 13 damage, and I do need a fortitude save.
Ooh, that is not going to be great. That is a 13.
Oh no, your brain.
So Alwyn is going to take 1 strength damage, and he is staggered.
Oh no, his strength. It's his most important stat. Oh no, that means I only have 26 more points of temp HP left.
Stop mocking the Nathal Gu.
Our new party tank. Go get him.
They are a noble creature.
You know that's a lie. They are not noble.
They are chitinous. They got that going for them. And I think the last one is just going to come running into the fog, because what else can it do? Unfortunately, it does have to double move because that is difficult terrain, so it cannot attack anybody. Kira, you got a crab in your face again.
Got a crab in my face.
Different crab, same face.
Different crab, same face. Great. I would like to full attack again. That is a 34 on the first hit. A gross 22 on the second. I think it was a 25 I needed, right? Gross 22 does not hit.
22 is not a hit.
Dirty 30 on the third hit.
That'll hit.
And a 26 on the fourth hit.
26 will do it.
Great. That's 3 hits on this fella who just walked up. Oh, I can see its little name if I hover over it. Nope, it's behind the friendly one. I can't see its little name.
It's the funny one.
Oh, it's funny.
I find this kind of funny. I find this kind of sad.
106 on that one, Sam. 106 to the funny guy.
Oh. The crab doesn't make it through that chainsawing.
Sorry, crab, kind of.
All right. That will bring us to the snake squad. There is one remaining crab. It just bit Alwyn.
Sorry, we were very busy writing lyrics to Crab World.
Yeah, we're writing a next Tears for Fear song.
Just going to delay, see if they move closer.
All right. And Brixby.
Oh, yeah. I definitely didn't just almost accidentally close Foundry. I still have Fiery Shuriken. There's still a lot of people in the way. But I'm still rolling against touch, but I have to roll spell resistance again. They keep dying.
It's a different crab every time.
Same face. That's a 27. All right. 220. Okay, and then this is with, flat-footed touch with all the other situations. Wow, Foundry's loving me. That is a 15 for a 28.
Yep.
Alrighty. Fire damage is 6 points, and then sneaky is 22.
All right. That's a big old chunk of damage.
And Brixby throws a little
Pretty hurt.
Old Bay on them as a free action.
It's just insulting. All right. Alwyn, before you do too much, let's get another fortitude save.
Oh no. Make that every time. That is a 19 that time. Is that better? Or no?
You're going to take one more strength
Ugh.
damage, and you are still staggered.
But I can still swing at him 3 times with these tentacles, so... looks like only one of those is a hit. So that is another 8 points of damage. And that is all he can do because he's staggered.
All right. Asuma is going to readjust her angle, get nice and steep so she can actually see this thing and take a shot with her laser pistol that seems to be working. She hits and does a little chunk of damage. And that brings us back around to the top of the order where this remaining Thalgu sits. It can now go for a full attack on Alwyn as he is standing right in front of it. It's mad. We'll start with the bite. It is looking bad. That is, however, a natural 20 on the bite.
Oh no.
To confirm, 29.
That is a confirm.
21 bite damage.
Okay.
Nothing too major. Claw number 1 is a 15 to hit.
That is a miss.
And claw number 2 is a 17 to hit.
That is also a miss. Holy crap, that is lucky. I do not have a very high AC, but it's higher than those.
Those were very bad rolls. It wanted to take you to Ren Town just one last time before it died. One time ever before it died. Sadly, it cannot. Kira is up.
Well, can Kira reach it, though, without stepping into the acid cloud?
No, Kira will have to go into the cloud if she wants to avenge Alwyn's death.
And remind me again what happens if I go into the cloud. Just asking for a friend.
You move at half speed, and you will take 2d6 acid damage when you enter it, and then 2d6 acid damage on my turn, which I will assumedly spend dispelling it.
Oh, I can do 2d6 damage. I have 100 points of damage to my name. I have 152 points of damage to my name. I'm
mean hit
going to step
points,
into
right?
the acid. Yeah, yes, I do.
Okay,
I do
good.
mean hit points, sorry.
I'm almost dead. Let's go.
Let's do it. No,
That's the perfect time to charge into the acid.
yeah, no, we're charging into the acid. Kira's seen too many friends go down recently. Charging into the acid. Here we go.
It's going to bite at you on the way in. That is a 19.
19 is like a pretty good bite, Sam. Is that versus... Doesn't matter what it's versus.
Versus regular bite. 62 on the blur.
Okay.
That is 10. 10 chompy do.
10 chomp. Oh no, I'm down to 142 hit points. All right, I'm just going to take a regular hit because I moved more than 5 steps. So close to a 20, but not. That is going to be a 37 to hit.
Yeah, 37 will hit.
33 points of damage, chainsaw damage.
So Kira runs into a cloud of acid and drives a chainsaw through the face of the final remaining crab.
Comes out clean on the other side.
Love that movie.
So with a giant pile of dead crabs clogging up this doorway, and I guess all of you still having the same faces, even with different crabs, I'm going to bed.
Good night, Sam.
Night, Sam. Night, dead crabs.
Sam.
Good night,
Good night.
fortitude roll that I'm probably going to have to keep rolling next episode.
Oh, forever.
I feel like I need to roll a fortitude save thinking about the smell of the acidic, like the ulcerous acidic crabs inside the dead tent body. Good night, Sam.
After the fireballs.
Against the machine. Against the machine.
Pot Against the Machine is property of Network Against the Machine LLC, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are property of Paizo Publishing. See their website for more details. Theme Against the Machine was written and performed by our own Zach. See the show notes for additional music and sound licensing. If you enjoyed the show, we encourage you to leave us a review. Welcome back to Pot Against the Machine.
Oh no!
What?
Sorry.
What?
I'm so sorry.
What happened?
I almost clapped at the wrong time, and I felt like I needed to announce that. And then you started talking, and I was talking, and it was a whole thing.
It's good for the bloops.
Levi has a bite attack that would go up 1 step, but he would
And
take
he
some
could talk.
con damage, and he
But-
would be talk. What if well, I guess it's a Nethagu's voice, so it's not gonna matter that Levi doesn't normally speak a language.
It would be so funny. And Alwyn can fix con damage.
Levi is large, though. It says medium or small.
Yeah, Levi's too big to use it.
Oh,
Snaky Boy's mouth is too big. I never think to roll initiative ahead of time, so it takes me an hour and a half to update my hundreds and hundreds of monsters.
each brain gets its own roll.
Of course. Why can't I stop drawing? Draw a polygon is bad. Okay. Yeah.
I'll put a little thingy up here. How do I? Yeah. Nope. It's not it. Well, oh, there it is. It's like, it's blind. Is that invisible? It's fatigued. All of these emojis are so small. I'm so old. I cannot. There it is. Whew.